Oh my gosh, it's the video you've been waiting for. I have had countless people ask me over the course that I've owned these next-gen consoles, what do you think about them? Which one do you think is better? Which one do you spend more time with? Which controller do you like better? Which do you recommend that I get first? It's like a bunch of different questions, and everyone wants to know what I think. And for a while now, 2 months, 2 months pretty much, I've kind of pushed it off, and I've said, no, I don't know yet, I don't know yet, I don't know yet. And even with my friends, I was like, I just don't know yet. But everyone's turning to me because I adopted both these next-gen consoles, and as a person who plays games on pretty much a variety of platforms, as I try to do with every generation, I like to split my games up between the platforms so I don't have all of my games on the PS4, for instance, and only the exclusives on the Xbox One. I want to split it up. I want to see how these consoles handle various third-party games and stuff like that. So I had these consoles for a little bit, 2 months or so, and I feel that I am now ready to at least talk. Now, let me just say this right out front, alright? I am not going to tell you which one is better, alright? I'm not going to give these consoles ratings. I'm not going to say the PS4 is a 3.5 out of 5 or whatever. So I'm not going to say that, because that's stupid. They give these consoles ratings. It's just retarded. I don't know why you would rate a console when you don't even have the content for the console yet. I mean, it's different if you would, like with this generation, this past generation, excuse me, it'd be different if I went back and I rated the PS3 as a console at the end of its life cycle, rather than rate the PS3 at the beginning of its life cycle. Because it was a much different system than at the beginning of its life cycle of, I can't speak, as it was at the end, I mean, without really those exclusives to really grab the consumer forward, what did the console really have? And it took a while for those exclusives to develop, especially with the new IPs and brand new ideas, with Quantic Dream coming in with Heavy Rain and Beyond Two Souls, but also you had Little Big Planet, you had the Killzone series, you had the Uncharted series taken just off, and then you had Infamous put in. You had like all these different exclusives, and same thing with Xbox 360, where in the beginning it started off really strong because it had all this great third-party support that it kept throughout the generation, and the exclusives coming in were strong as well. But later on, you saw those exclusives start to kind of dip, and it was just, your three biggest franchises: Gears of War, Halo, and Forza Motorsport, and then it was all third-party support after that. It was different. These consoles are much different today than they will be 5-10 years down the road whenever this generation officially ends. So I'm going to tell you, based off my personal experience, which one not is better, but pretty much which one gave me the less hassle. All right, which one I felt that was a much more easier process to go with, which controller I feel more natural with, and so on and so forth. All right. So, let's talk about the design, alright? The size of these consoles is no big deal to me because they're sitting there on a shelf. I'm just looking at it. It's not like... Some people have like these weird elaborate setups where their console has to stand up or their console has to lay flat down on this really thin piece of wood or whatever. I don't have that situation. So, the PS4 is a smaller device. It's a thinner device. And at the same time, it's a more powerful device. It uses, I would say, less power than the Xbox One does. I'm not sure exactly what the requirements and voltage are. But it's a smaller console, and it's faster, more powerful. It is what it is, alright? So, personally, let's start off with PlayStation 4, alright? It was the first next-gen console to actually officially come out, excluding the Wii U, excuse me. When I hooking up the thing, I mean, the console's slim, it's easy to use. What, you plug the HDMI cord in. I've had no problems with the console whatsoever. It's been quiet, whisper quiet. I haven't even heard the thing turn, like, when it's on, I barely notice it's on. It's so whisper quiet. It hasn't been making any weird noise. There's no disc tray issue. There's nothing. It's been a completely smooth experience so far, which I'm happy to say because my PlayStation 3... which I got a year later. I got the 80GB model in 2007 when it came with Motor Storm. I think that, yeah, Motor Storm. When I got the 80 gig model, about, I would say, February, like, let's say I just picked up the 80 gig model in November, and this was way back in 2007. So about February 2008 is when my console bricked. Alright, and I went through 5 or 6 PlayStation 3s. I was one of the minorities that had a lot of PlayStation 3 problems, and actually had more PlayStation 3 problems than I did Xbox 360 problems, alright? But that was because I was not an early adopter of the Xbox 360. I adopted it in 2009 when that 60 gig model came out. And of course, that console bricked. My latest 80 gig model bricked. If you guys remember that, my long-term subscribers will remember that. Back, I think it was April 2011 or something, like 2010 it may have been. No, actually, I think it was 2012. I think it was recent, in 2012, where all of my stuff broke. My PC hard drive corrupted, my PlayStation 3 bricked, and my Xbox 360 bricked. And I went out and I was like, screw this, I'm not sending it back to Sony, and I bought brand new consoles because of that. I don't have that issue here. At least so far it's been smooth. Admittedly, I've been using the PlayStation 4 less than I was using the PlayStation 3 back when it came out, because now I have a gaming PC, and now I'm working on playing the games on here that I need to play and beat before I do my video game awards. So I have all my Steam games on here, and that's really what I've been playing. I have Need for Speed Rivals, which I haven't even been able to delve into on the PlayStation 4 because I've been so busy with Steam games. But this is another game I have to jump on. But talking about the home screen, all right, the main UI, if you will. A lot of people hated the PlayStation 3's XROS media bar. Personally, I didn't mind it. I can see why a lot of people thought that it was too technical, like it had like a lot of settings for stuff that they didn't understand. I personally didn't really have a problem with it. The main issue with the XROS media bar was that it was slow. It was sluggish. It was very hard to maneuver around, especially when they added that update patch that would that allowed you to press the PlayStation button on your controller and you could navigate the menu while in game. It was kind of slow at first, and then later on, as more updates came forward, they made it faster. It was more easy to use, but for the most part, the Xbox media bar was slow. Alright, it was really slow. Sometimes it'd take a while for stuff to pop up, and it just wasn't really intuitive software build. However, the PlayStation 4 main menu is very fast. It's very fast. It's very fluid. There's no really big, huge loading times. You're not going to be clicking on an icon and waiting 5-10 seconds for that icon to finally load another menu. It's not like that at all. It's very actually quick, and it's very smooth. The thing I can't really say that the menu really lagged out on me at all. It wasn't like it really caused me problems where I tried to view my trophies and I just couldn't see. There was some glitches where I actually went to my trophies and I scrolled down my trophies and stuff like that, and I wanted to view all my trophies for all my games, and when I got to a certain amount, for some reason it kept repeating my trophy. It kept like looping me more or less. So I'd have like my Mercenaries, 2 trophies, Metal Gear Solid 4. I had like all these trophies. You'd scroll down and you see those same trophies keep like they were indefinitely or infinitely just spread down. I can't even think of the word. They're infinitely copied down the list so that you couldn't scroll down to the bottom. You just keep scrolling down to the same game. So that was like the only issue. It wasn't really an issue because then you quit out of it and I think you restart it and it was fine, or you just resync your trophies and it fixed the issue or something like that. But still, that was like really the only problem. Now this time around, the PlayStation Store is no longer a slow loading, operating system. The difference between here is that the PlayStation Store is now integrated within the OS itself, whereas on the PlayStation 3 it was a software that you installed. So because the menu is integrated like the Xbox Game Store was on Xbox 360, it's very smooth. There's no lag anymore. You don't have to wait for it to load your store icon. You click on it, boom, you're in the store, and everything's pretty much loaded. So a very nice, smooth store experience to download your game stuff and whatnot. and it was just overall a very smooth experience. I really do like the menu. I know a lot of people have expressed their disgust with the limited customizability issues. See, stuttering here. So you can't really customize it. You can't change your background or your themes yet. I assume they're gonna have this come into like a future update. It's kind of weird because this is a huge part of customization, but I assume you're gonna be able to customize your main menu theme and your icons and stuff like that, and maybe even your background music. What's really cool is that you turn the PS4 on, and it starts playing this really soothing background music that makes you feel like you're in awe, like you just jumped into like an amazing trance of nothing but entertainment and amazing epicness. All right, it's a very awesome kind of way when you hold the controller, and you turn on the console, when you're navigating the menu, it's like my games. It's very nice mellow music that it just feels right, and it's just great. So I really do like the whole main menu system. Game installs. Now this is an issue that everyone's saying is the console's only 500 gigabytes and you have to install 30 to 50 gigabytes worth of games. Yeah. And these installs are mandatory. Now the good thing is that these installs they have an initial install. And the way it works is you put the disc in, it has an initial install, and then you have the full game installing in the background as you can actually play the game while it's installing in the background. So the initial install on PlayStation 4, you put the disc in, it takes probably about, I would say, 3 to 5 minutes. I would actually say 3 minutes at the most. It's a really smooth, quick experience. So let's say around 3 minutes to do that initial installation for the game. And after that, it installs the game in the background, which can take up to about 15 to 20 minutes tops. All right, I've installed Killzone Shadowfall on my hard drive, which is a 45 gigabyte game. I installed Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, which was a 30 gigabyte game, I believe. I think a 35 gigabytes or something like that. Actually, I have the games. Let me just show you. So, alright, here are my PlayStation 4 games. Killzone Shadowfall is 45 gigabytes. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag is 20 gigabytes. Now keep in mind, linear first-person shooter, open world game. These are both running at native 1080p 30 frames per second. This game's 45 gigabytes and this game's 30 gigabytes. Now obviously this game does look better than this game. There's much more detail going on in this one than there is in this one. But this game looks amazing, and it's only 20 gigabytes of space. That's quite impressive. So, and then Battlefield 4 is a 40 gigabyte space requirement, and then Need for Speed Rivals is 25 gigs. All right. So I checked my main menu system out. I have all these 4 games installed, and that's it. I don't have Contrast. I don't have Resogun installed. I think I have Netflix installed, maybe. I think I may have Netflix installed. Let me go ahead and check. Hold on. Let me turn my PlayStation 4 on, which is not plugged in through the HDMI port. The Xbox One is. So excuse me while I do this. I have to unplug the HDMI cord in back here. Oops, wrong cord. There we go. This is the wonders of having one HDMI port on your monitor and having multiple next generation systems at your leisure. Hold on. Plugging you stupid. There we go. I got it. Alright. So I'm going to show you guys, I'm going to tell you, more or less, exactly how much space I have on this hard drive after having those 4 games installed. Alright. We have Battlefield 4, Need for Speed, Killzone, Assassin's Creed. Alright. With that combined with... Application save. No, not save data. System storage. That combined with save data that actually uploads into the cloud, so there really is no reason. It has 90 megabytes of saved data included on it, but that all gets updated to the cloud. It just keeps a hard copy on my hard disk. So for applications, there's All these 4 games take up a combined total of 112 gigabytes, leaving me 295 gigabytes exactly to basically install more games on. All right, so that's 4 games, 100 gigabytes, let's just say. Now you might be saying to yourself, okay, well, this game is 25 gigabytes plus 40 gigabytes is 65 plus another 20 gigabytes is 85 plus a 45 gigabytes, 90, 130 gigabytes. All right, so still there's somewhere weird around there where it's like 20 gigabytes is missing. All right, it's like missing. I guess the way it works is, I'm not exactly sure about this, but from what I've read, it caches content on your hard drive, and this is the bare minimum, meaning it wants to cache this amount of space on your hard drive. But I think what happens is that cache gets deleted and uploaded and deleted, and it constantly goes like this. So this game, probably you can shave 5 gigabytes off of it or whatever, but you still have large games like that, and 4 games for 100 gigabytes. Think about how much you're gonna fill up. So I mean, how you combat this is pretty much how you do file management. All right, you may say, all right, well, I'm done with Killzone, which I beat in. I finished Assassin's Creed. I'm never gonna play those games again. Delete, 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 and now you saved up 50 gigabytes or something. Let's just say 70 gigabytes or whatever. Of games of storage, so you can install more games on it. And that's essentially what you're going to have to do. Now, the PlayStation 4, excuse me, has a huge win because it allows you to install a hard drive of your choosing. As long as it's a 2.5-inch laptop hard drive, you can install 3, 5, 7, 10 terabytes. It doesn't whatever amount of space, as long as it's a 5400 RPM hard drive, you can install it on here with ease. That's the great thing that the PlayStation 3 had, is you could actually install, basic laptop drives. And the price of storage these days has dramatically, it's really cheap. I picked up this 500, I think it's a 1 terabyte, yeah, I picked up this 1 terabyte external hard drive here for my computer for like $80. It's pretty cheap, and that's an external hard drive. So probably for an internal, that's probably like $50 internal hard drive, seriously. So it's not that expensive to actually upgrade it yourself. Be thankful that you can upgrade it, which is nice. But that's it. Like, I'm going through the menu right now, and everything's smooth. It's very responsive. Nice background music playing and so you can listen and just feel like you're in awe. I like the fact that you have this this information page. It's called What's New, actually, and it displays what your friends are doing, as well as promotions for content that you may have on disc. So right now it's promoting Don't Starve, which is free for PlayStation Plus, which I may download. But it's also saying, hey, there's new Need for Speed content. There's new Battlefield 4 map packs. And it's also updating me on my games. I can see that my friend Go Perverter was streaming yesterday and actually joined in on that stream. So I can see, boom, all my friends are doing this. So-and-so just unlocked a trophy. So-and-so likes this game, and so-and-so bought this game. It's just a really cool way of finding out what your friends are doing. It's sort of like a feed on Facebook, more or less, but specifically catered to video games. Now, you do have your TV services on here. You have Amazon, Redbox, Netflix, Hulu, Vudu, Crackle, Epix. IGN has their own app on here. And you have your basic video apps. The one thing I did not notice is that one thing I did notice, excuse me, is that there is no YouTube app. There is no YouTube app pre-installed on here, which is like, whoa, YouTube is like big, and it'd be nice to watch YouTube videos on my next-gen console, especially if you have this connected to a big TV in your living room. You want to watch everything in one. Now, you can still navigate over to the web browser and go on YouTube.com, essentially, and do that, but because it's not integrated within it, it's not going to work as well. I don't even know if this web browser has Flash. Let's go to Flash.com and see if this actually has Flash built in on its web page. Hold on. Let's go to Flash.com. Adobe Flash, and it loaded. It loaded, and here's the images. So if I'm gonna actually test this again, um, I'm actually gonna go to my YouTube channel and see if it actually plays video. Here we go. All right. So let's see if it actually goes and plays video. Well, it loaded, but there's no video icons popping up. So I would have to say yep. It says the Adobe Flash Player is required for video. Okay, so the browser doesn't have Flash Player. You cannot go on YouTube and watch your videos, which means you have to wait for Sony to deal with Google and YouTube so they can bring YouTube to PlayStation 4. So that is kind of unfortunate. Provided that you have a computer, it doesn't really matter anyway because I really don't watch YouTube videos on my game console. But I can see that being an issue if someone I want one device connected to my TV that can do internet browsing, play games, and play movies and do stuff like that. So with this one, you don't have the YouTube app. I don't know when it's coming. I don't think it's been announced, but I think Sony's going to try and say, let's get 4K streaming on our YouTube app for PlayStation 4 and try to do something like that. So it's going to take them however long it's going to take them. All right. Controller. This is a nice controller. It actually is one of the best controllers I've used. Now keep in mind, I grew up, my first console was the N64. I had an original PlayStation, I had original PlayStation 2, and I had a PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and a Wii. And now I have a PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. Alright, and also, I have a gaming PC as well. That being said, I can't really speak on the history if this is the best controller ever made, but I like this controller a lot. It feels nice. The only real issue is that the analog sticks were a little bit small, and we're all used to dealing with large analog sticks, and both the next-gen consoles sort of have these small analog sticks. So it took a little while for my fingers to get used to them. However, playing Battlefield 4, Assassin's Creed, even Need for Speed, I'm actually surprised to say that, is that this controller is great for racing games. Actually, this controller is perfect for racing games too, because I was a bit skeptical, like, maybe it's a little bit more lenient to the shooter side, but no, actually for racing games, it works extremely well. I was one of those guys who, I didn't mind a PlayStation 3 controller, however, it felt cheap to me. It didn't really have any weight to it. It felt like a cheap piece of plastic that I can just throw over here to the side of me, and it would just break as soon as it hits the ground or wall. And especially these trigger things that they had on the PlayStation 3 controller were definitely not as, they didn't really feel as nice, especially with games that actually utilize them as the main shooting buttons. And there were a couple games that are like, no, L2 and R2 are triggers, and you use them for shooting, but they weren't really shaped appropriately so that it felt comfortable. This controller is heavy. There's one issue with this controller, and one just big issue that I'm kind of a little bit about, and that is the battery life. This thing dies after a single day of playing. All right, for when I first got the system, believe me, because I was trying to get through Killzone Shadowfall. I probably played it for 8 hours or so straight. A full day of gaming, and this thing's practically dead. Now you can charge this, because it uses a micro USB cord, you can charge this with your phone charger, you can charge this with any standard micro USB cord. They give you one when you get the console. However, it's kind of unfortunate, when you buy an extra controller, you don't get a micro SD cord. You don't. I mean, they don't give you an extra power cord. It's different how, I think on the DualShock 3 when they sold it, they gave you a mini USB cord, but for micro USB for PlayStation 4, they don't give it to you. It's weird. So a micro USB cord, however, is very common, especially in today's with smartphones. Pretty much every single device uses that as like a form of charging and connectivity. So it's not really that big of an issue. It'd just be nice to actually get some charging cords, instead of just being stuck to one thing. So don't lose it. Place it in a drawer. Make sure it's nice, and don't tear it up and try to break it. I like the D-pad. I haven't really used a game that really utilizes it fully. I like the face buttons. It feels nice. The big difference, of course, is that you have the 2 buttons up here, and then you have your touchpad. All right. Now you have Start and Select have been replaced by Options, which is the new Start button, and Share, which is probably the most ingenious thing I've ever seen in the gaming industry as of late. When they first announced the share button, I was like, okay, fine, you can share it to Facebook, whatever, you can stream. All right, that's nice, that's cool, whatever, right? I kind of blew it off as, that's cool to have, but it's not like a big deal. Boy, was I wrong. The share button is incredible. It's addictive to push, and it's simple and very easy. You see something cool happen, boom, share. Menu pops up. You want to upload that screenshot? Do you want to record that game clip? You can upload the screenshot to Facebook or Twitter, and that's kind of unfortunate that you can only, I'm sorry, it's really for video clips. Is that it's kind of unfortunate for screenshots, Facebook and Twitter. That's pretty much where you want to upload it. No big deal. But for video clips, it's only Facebook. That's all. There is no YouTube. There is no BS. It's kind of unfortunate. I would like to hit share and say, wow, I just saw this cool thing. Boom, upload it to YouTube in 720p HD, but you cannot do that. It's kind of unfortunate. I think support for that is going to come later, but as of right now, you don't have that. So this is why I'm not rating the consoles. It's because in 5 years, this thing's going to be amazing. It's going to have all these extra features. You're going to be able to customize the menu, and my review of it, my perspective of it is going to change dramatically than what I'm giving you guys right now. But this share button is amazing. It's incredibly addictive. I pressed this probably close to 10 times when I was playing Killzone Shadowfall. Probably 5 to 7 times when I was playing Battlefield 4 and Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag, and I haven't really delved into Need for Speed yet to really want to share some cool stuff like that. But it's really awesome. I love it. I think it's an ingenious way to do that. Now you also have this speaker, alright, this nice speaker which is connected to the controller. Yet another thing that's sucking away the battery life, alright? The speaker is pretty cool, but not really games don't really utilize it yet. That's the problem. You have this nice touchpad here, you have this nice speaker here, but games don't really utilize that yet. Killzone Shadowfall, it being an exclusive, used pretty much everything on this controller that it could. The speaker was used in this game for audio logs, and I absolutely loved that idea. When you find an audio log in the game, you press it and you listen to it through your speakers, but you're also playing the game at the same time. Like BioShock Infinite, for example, or the BioShock games, where you find something, you're listening to it, but you also have to concentrate on the game audio that's coming through the same speakers, and sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming. Personally, I have a hard issue playing the game, concentrating on the sounds around me, and at the same time being fed a story or something through an audio log. There are times where a character will blatantly say something, and I'll be like, whoa, 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 what? And I have to replay that audio clip again. This is ingenious because the audio clip plays through the controller, and because you're playing the game, the audio of that game is being fed through a different sound system than the audio log. It allows you to pay attention because you're viewing it from 2 different angles. All right, so you have your game facing from the front, but you also have this speaker that's shouting at you more or less, depending on the audio log, a story and whatnot. So it's very interesting. When I was playing Killzone Shadowfall, I noticed that I really was able to pay attention to audio logs much more dramatically than I was if I was just listening to it through the same sound system. A lot of times when I'm watching playthroughs of games and stuff, and the people who are playing pick up an audio log, I'll listen to the audio log because I'm not also participating in the experience. But the audio being fed through a different location really causes you to, it's like you're actually holding the damn audio log. It's really awesome. It's allowed me to pay attention more so than I would if I was just listening through it through the same speakers. Now you also have this touchpad, which again wasn't really used that well in games, or really that dramatically. Killzone Shadowfall used it. Assassin's Creed 4 did use it, and they actually used it for the mini-map. You click on it. This is also a button, by the way, the touchpad. It's a button. You click on it, and in Assassin's Creed 4 it would bring up your mini-map. And you can actually scroll through the mini-map like this and use pinch to zoom for different locations like that. Now the problem with that is that it was highly sensitive, and that when you wanted to choose like a specific location, it wasn't really. It was too sensitive enough to really choose exactly where you wanted to go. So it was cool. Obviously you press it because you want to view the mini map. but you would still, I mean, I was still using my analog sticks and pressing that. However, for Killzone Shadowfall, they did a really cool thing, and they said that the hell with this D-pad, we're actually going to use these directional arrows as a different way to select menu items. So you have this Owl Companion, which is like a flying drone that can do a bunch of different stuff. And you actually select the drone's abilities by flicking up, left, right, down on the D-pad constantly. And it's very sensitive. It's not like, listen to me. It's not like that. You just, boom. It's actually very natural. Your finger just slips off the left analog stick, your thumb, boom. And you just flip a direction on the D-pad. It's very natural. It's actually a really nice way to pick menus, and I hope more games will actually utilize it in that sense. Apparently, with upcoming games like Thief, you have Thief coming up, there's this ability called the Swoop, where you'll be able to basically dash in certain directions for a limited amount of time. It's like a quick dash to get from cover to cover and whatnot. And the direction of that swoop on PS4 is going to be handled by which direction you swipe your finger. So if I want to go back, I just bam, swipe my finger back, and Garrett will just swoop back. So it's going to be interesting how developers use this. I really do like this idea. I think it's pretty smart, and it's a very nice controller. It feels great in your hands. You have this nice texture on the back too, which adds like a little grip, because some people would buy skins for their actual controllers and stuff. But this one kind of has one sort of with it with this texture. It's a much more sort of easy to grasp kind of texture. Your fingers don't slip off of it. It's not. You're not gonna get sweat under your fingers, and this thing isn't gonna get disgusting like it would with standard plastic. It's not gonna be like that. Your fingers are always planted, or your hands are firmly wrapped around this controller without really any hassle. And of course, you have your PlayStation button here. You have your headphone jack, which is brand new. It comes with an in-ear headset. I don't talk to people, so I really can't give my review on that, but that all does get plugged in through there. And then you have the PlayStation Move motion sensor built in here to the front of the controller, which is, again, I don't really have, there's no games that really utilize it. Killzone Shadowfall did a really cool thing with the colors, and when your health would get low, it would turn from green down to yellow and down to red. It would actually flash red. It's noticeable if you're playing in a dark room, but even then, it's not really that noticeable. You have to really, it changes colors. You have to really do that to actually really notice it. But it is a cool thing. If you look down, you can see, oh, my fingers are yellow now because everything's shining right where your fingers are when you're placed on the triggers. It's something that you'll notice like that. I think for Tomb Raider, the Definitive Edition, they're going to actually use it for muzzle flash. So whenever you fire a gun, it's going to flash yellow or some orange color or something like that. So it's a cool little gimmick to kind of get it that way. It reflects on my Kinect sensor, which is really nice. But my Kinect sensor is up here. My controller is down here. So it's not really, again, noticeable. It's just nice because they did actually color code the thing, and it's sort of like, PlayStation Move. They actually decreased the controller limit, so instead of it being 7 controllers now, it's down to 4, which who cares, because games don't even support split screen to begin with, so it's completely useless, or it doesn't really matter at all, but yeah, that's the PlayStation 4 controller, that's the PlayStation 4 game console, alright? So that's that. Can I turn my PlayStation 4 off now, please? God, this is going to be a long video, alright, but I promise you guys that my goal here is to give you a really good perspective, a broad perspective on these two consoles. My overall experience with the PlayStation 4 is that it's a system that's designed around games. It's fast, it's smooth, it's intuitive. It has some games that I'm actually looking forward to. In terms of exclusives, I have to say my most anticipated exclusive for it coming out would probably be The Order 1886 if you're talking about 2014. That's probably the game I'm most looking forward to. That's an exclusive. But, knowing Sony, they have a great long list of developers at their disposal that create brand new, interesting ideas, and I really like that Sony can delve into brand new IPs, alright? So this is something different. Whereas other developers, they keep spooting out these same franchises that we're all tired of and we don't need to see any more games of. What Sony does is You know, it's an investment in new franchises, which has always won me over practically for getting a Sony console. Is when I get a Sony console, I'm going to have exclusives that are going to be brand new experiences. And that's essentially what gaming is about, experiencing brand new mediums. So 35 minutes so far, and we haven't got to Xbox One. So I'm going to plug the Xbox One in through the HDMI port right now. Yes. My voice will be hoarse once I'm done with this video. Oh my god. My monitor just got tilted in all these different directions. That's what you get for getting a tilted monitor. Alright, let's talk about the Xbox One. So I got the Xbox One. Why? Because there are games I wanted to play on it that were Xbox exclusive games. You get $500 and you get this big console, and you get this big camera, and you get this big power brick which plugs in the console. You get this big HDMI cord. You get a lot of big shit. Alright, the whole thing with the Xbox One is that it's large. It's noticeable. You know, I guess that's what they were trying to go for. So the console's large. Is it really huge, humongous? Oh my god, it's huge. No, it's not like that. People were making such a huge deal about the size of it, and when I picked it up for the first time, when I saw it for the first time, I was like, you know, a little bit taken aback because it is a big console, but once I put it in there, I mean, it's sitting on a shelf. It's like, whatever, you know? It's here to play games. I'm not moving it around. I'm not taking it with me to the pool, to go to the movies with. You know, it's not with me. It's just sitting there on a shelf waiting to be played. This Kinect, however, needs to sit on a flat surface in front of your TV, on top of your TV, to the side of your TV. I don't know, all right? It depends. My situation is complicated here because I game on a PC monitor, all right, which is a great PC monitor. It's better than pretty much most TVs out there. 144 hertz, a millisecond response time at full 1080p native. It's a really great PC monitor. And the problem here is that I'm on this desk, which is really just like an office desk, sort of, and that's where I game. On a nice leather chair, nice 24-inch monitor, which is fine for me. And I have this Kinect, which, in order to compensate for the Kinect, because I want to have it actually plugged into my console, I had to move my monitor up. So I don't know if I can show you guys exactly here. Yeah, that's the issue. This is with Kinect. All right, this is what I had to really do. I had to place Kinect on top of my. I'm sorry, on the bottom of my monitor, on top of its stand thing. And luckily my monitor has a tilt mechanism. If hold on, I can actually lift this up higher. So I can lift this up however high I want. It goes pretty high, to be honest, but still, it's like I have to have this huge freaking camera in front of me now, and it's humongous, it's noticeable, and yeah. Now, some of you guys are going to be saying, excuse me while I have to reposition this camera. Some of you guys are going to sit there and say, but I thought the Xbox Kinect was optional, and I thought no one wanted the device. Yes, the Kinect is optional. You don't have to have it plugged in. If you want to unplug it, do whatever you want with it. You want to unplug it, throw it in the recycle bin, or sell it on eBay, whatever. All right, you can do whatever you want with the Kinect. It's not required anymore. So I don't have to have it. I don't have to sit there and have it plugged into my device. I can just unplug it and, you know, continue to play my games. The problem here is that Kinect offers the full experience, and that there are certain features with Kinect that are integrated within Kinect that you can't really access anywhere else. For instance, if you want to say, I swear to God, if it starts playing, you can record game clips, and you can be like, oh, Xbox, record that, and it's gonna record some bullshit right now, and it can, you can record the last 15 seconds of gameplay and then have it upload to your SkyDrive. Oh my god. So it can be accessed anywhere. So this is amazing. Because they didn't decide to do what Sony did and place a share button on the controller. No, they said, talk to your TV, and if you don't have Connect plugin, you lose that feature. You also lose the feature of, I believe, the upcoming snapping feature where you can snap different windows and stuff like that, and with your hands, right? Your magical hands. So you can like do all this cool stuff, but Kinect is integrated into that experience so that it offers the full experience. And by unplugging Kinect, you are essentially losing a huge part of that experiences. You cannot record gameplay content. You cannot snap stuff to the side like that. You cannot quickly go to menus, and it's kind of like, you know, this is the Kinect. We don't really want it, but it's integrated so much into the console that not having it kind of makes it a pain to kind of navigate through. So that is one of the issues. Talking with the main menu layer, I'm going to go to the HDMI port so I can look at the UI while I talk about it. If you use Windows 8, which I actually did a poll, 20% of Steam users actually officially use Windows 8 now, which is kind of cool. No one really liked Windows 8 is a very mixed operating system. I use Windows 8.1 as my main default operating system. I do not have really an issue with it. I don't really think it's a bad, horrible, the worst operating system I've ever seen. However, I can see that it caters to more touch devices and mobile devices more than it does for a desktop application. Alright, so Xbox is supposed to recognize me. Xbox, show my stuff. It's not recognizing me because it's retarded. So, the UI is like Windows 8. If Windows 8 was a gaming operating system, it's essentially what it is. It's a lot of tiles, a lot of icons that lead to more tiles, and a lot of more tiles that lead to to the actual stuff that you want to get to. All right, it's like saying it's like opening a book, wanting to get to a specific chapter, but saying that the chapter information is on this page, and then that chapter information page was supposed to be on the other page, and so you have to keep flipping through the pages of the books to actually get where you want. It just can't tell you where to go. So this is what happens. It's like you go to settings, you got more settings, you go to settings again, you got more settings after that, and then you have some more settings after that. So it's really odd. You got your store, you can go to games, which leads you to different settings, and it's like a bunch of boxes that lead to more boxes until you actually want to get to where you want to. It's boring. This is the main issue. It's boring. I turn this on and I don't feel excited. I don't feel excited to play anything. I turn it on, I'm like, I just turned on a game console. Whoopee. There's no background music playing in the background. It's just there's just a blackness. There's a bunch of tiles and there's blackness. It's not fun. There's nothing here that speaks to me about, hey, can I play this fun game? It's not playing a stupid video in the background. It's not showing me my game clips. It's a bunch of tiles that just lead to more tiles. And it's just boring. It's boring. It's repetitive. It's just boring. There's nothing exciting. I don't get this, like, when I try my PS4, I'm like, you know, and I feel that I hear that nice background music and the wavy background and stuff like that with a bunch of bright colors. It's bright tiles and blue and stuff like that. And smiley faces. What do I see when I turn on my Xbox? I see blackness. I see some green tiles. I see the last game I played. I see in a big square the other game I played. I also see on the side I have Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag. I have an ad for Carrie. And I have an ad for the definitive edition of Tomb Raider. That's what I have. There's nothing playing in the background. There's nothing going on into the background. It's black. Blackness. It's boring. I know I said it over and over again, but it's boring. It's boring, like my videos. Seriously. So, the cool thing is that actually, unlike PlayStation, they actually allow you to customize it, however, very limitedly. You can actually customize your gamer pick. Oh my god, they brought that back over from the last generation. Yeah, on PlayStation 4, you cannot customize your gamer pick because your gamer pick turns into your PS3, whatever gamer pick you had on PS3, and all they use for your actual official gamer pick, let's just say, is your face. It's your face from Facebook or Twitter or your connected social network or whatever. I actually have a gamer pick on here. And I can't upload my own. I can't buy gamer. I can't go in there and buy a gamer pick from Watch Dogs unless it's on Xbox 360 or whatever. But that's it. I see. I can actually. They have a long list of gamer picks which really aren't that interesting. They're not really that interesting, to be honest. The gamer picks that they have. But at least they let you choose that. They have your theme color. You can actually choose your own theme color, and it changes. I mean, if you don't like the green, you can have it be gray, you can have it be black, you can be pink, red, light blue. You can do like a bunch of these different colors depending on your preference. Now the big issue here is not only is this Xbox One dashboard boring and riddled with ads, however, it's not as pronounced. The ads are thankfully not as pronounced as they are on Xbox 360, because there's nothing that disgusted me more on Xbox 360 than turning on my console and this big, huge, freaking square in the center. My attention will be directly turned on to some stupid Kinect game. And then I have my little game right there in the corner. They don't have that anymore. They have whatever your last viewed menu item is, whether it's your friends list, your settings, or whatever. They have it displayed in this big box, so you can go there immediately once you turn on your console or whatever. So it's nice. The issue here, however, is that it's slow. Like, really slow. Like a snail would be faster than this. Alright, it's not that bad. But it's laggy. So it's boring, it's laggy, and this is surprising because Microsoft, the creators of Windows, could not invent an operating system that was fast. I don't know how many gigs of RAM this operating system is taking up, but if it's taking up 3 gigs of RAM, this is an embarrassment considering how sluggish it is. It's just slow. Slow. Whenever I want to choose something, I go to my settings. Let's count. Let's actually do a test. Let's turn on my PlayStation 4, and I'm going to show you guys how long it takes to boot up the setting menu on both of these consoles. Alright, I'm actually going to time it myself on my phone. Because this is like, seriously. Okay, hold on. Clock. Stopwatch. Alright, guys. I'm going to go to my settings. Alright. Oops. And go. It took me 3 seconds to get into the settings menu. Alright, which I know you guys are like, okay. It's not that long. No, but let me show you the difference between a settings menu like that and a settings menu on the PlayStation 4. I'm going to unplug my HDMI port with the console on, so I probably should not do that, but whatever. That's what the warranties are for. There we go. Alright. So we have 3 seconds and 3 seconds and 13 milliseconds, more or less. Now let's see how long it takes to get on the PlayStation 4's main menu system. Alright? Oops. Alright. 0.57 milliseconds before I can actually see what's going on. So think of that. 0.57 milliseconds difference from 3 seconds and 0.13 milliseconds or whatever it was. Alright? Think about how much of a difference that is in time. That's like 2.5 seconds. And it gets worse. I'm going to talk about the game installs next, which are among the worst. My computer could install 3 discs of a game faster than the Xbox One could install. I know everyone's going to sit here and all the PlayStation fans are enjoying this part because they think I'm bashing on the Xbox One. But I'm not, because I'm going to talk about something else after this, and that's the content that's available right now, which the Xbox One actually doesn't fail at. Alright? But I'm going to keep this brutally honest with you because you all wanted this video, and I'm trying to tell you all. I'm not telling you which one is better. You're not here to watch it. You're here to listen to my opinion about the new consoles, alright? Game installs are long and dramatic. It took me, when I first booted this thing up, alright, it took me to install 3 games. 3 games. Call of Duty Ghosts, Rise Son of Rome, and Forza Motorsport 5. It took me 2 hours to install 3 games completely. To install 3 games on PlayStation 3 or 4 would take probably 45, 50 minutes. If these games are large too, it takes ridiculously long. The initial installation takes anywhere from 5, it can take 7 minutes, 10 minutes. It takes a long freaking time. The initial installation is tedious. And what are you supposed to do during that initial installation? I don't know. You put the disc in. What else can you play? A downloaded version of the game. You can do that. So you have that, but here, let's look at the space, all right? So here are the 3 games I installed for PlayStation 4 when I first got it. We have Battlefield 4, 40 gigabytes, Assassin's Creed is 20, and Killzone is 45. Call of Duty Ghost, you guys are going to shit yourself when you hear this. Call of Duty Ghost for Xbox One is 49 gigabytes. That's how big this game is. You might be saying, Call of Duty, 49 gigabytes. Yeah, 49 gigabytes for this game. I couldn't believe it either, but I guess it is. Rise Son of Rome is 47 gigabytes. Forza Motorsport 5, surprisingly, is only 35 gigabytes. Alright? So these are around the same space, you know, maybe a little bit less on PlayStation 4. But again, even if these were equal amounts of space, this would take double the amount of time that the PlayStation 4 would have if I installed those games completely. So the game installs are long. And they're just long. Just awful. Awful game install times. It's horrendous. So with this, you have a UI that's not really fun. It's not fun to look at. It's black. I'm not excited for it. I don't feel excited when I turn on my Xbox One. I feel excited to play a new game I got. When I turn on my Xbox One, I'm like, oh, this is great. Xbox One. I'm not like that. I don't feel that way. You know, when I'm on PlayStation 4, it's like, wave, mellowness. You're in a different world. This one, it's like, hey, welcome to your living room, which is essentially the message that Microsoft wanted to give. And in that way, they succeeded. So we have our Xbox One Day 1 controller here. What do I think about this controller? I like it. I like the 360 controller more. All right, and I have one here. Here's the Xbox 360 wired controller because, you know, I'm for PC games and stuff. I use this from time to time. The great thing about this controller, first of all, let's talk about the great things about this controller. A D-pad is actually good to use. It's actually a really good D-pad. The 360 D-pad has always sucked. They haven't improved it. They haven't tried anything to really improve it. It has never been good. This is a D-pad that I feel I can use, that I feel is responsive. It's smaller, it's lower, it also has a nice click to it, and it's really nice. It just feels great. I can navigate the menus, I can navigate the keyboards, and it just feels great to press. It feels amazing. My fingers are like, that's a nice D-pad. No, but I'm seriously, it's a nice D-pad. The analog sticks I like better on the 360. Keep in mind that I've played Battlefield 4 on PS4 and I played Call of Duty on Xbox One. Right, so I played first-person shooters for each. I like the analog sticks better on the Xbox One because they feel like a much better texture to it. They have like this nice rigid thing on the end of them, so they feel really great. They don't feel like shitty analog sticks that are gonna break. This rubber on the PlayStation 4 controller feels like it's gonna, you know, rub off. It kind of feels like I can just tear this off with my fingers. Essentially, I have heard that a lot of people are having issues with their DualShock 4s where the rubber is actually falling off. No issues for me, however. But this is a nice feeling controller. It's awesome. I like this. I like these thumbsticks. They're really nice. They don't have this. They don't have this D-pad or this touch screen thing in the middle. It's simple. This is familiar. This is familiar. This is like, wow. The problem is that this feels like a brand new generation of games, and this feels like what you've already been playing. So unless you're like more of a visual type of guy where you're like, wow, this game looks amazing, it feels like a next-gen game, or if you're the type of person that needs to feel stuff, then this is the controller that you're probably gonna like more because it's heavier, it still feels great, and even though the analog sticks aren't as nice as they are on the Xbox One, I still feel like this one feels like a brand new generation of consoles and stuff like that. And miraculously, my Xbox is saying, "Are you trying to say Xbox go to friends?" So yeah. Kinect is always listening if you tell it to. I turned off the feature that allows me to say Xbox on, Xbox off. I turned off that feature, so I can no longer just randomly walk into my room and say Xbox on. The Kinect is the biggest troll device because someone can be playing a game of Call of Duty and some idiotic brother, their bitch ass brother, can come in and be like Xbox off, and boom, the console's off. Essentially, someone could do it. It's a huge troll device. All right, but I disabled that because I don't want to be talking to my friends saying, yeah, that the Xbox is on steroids or something like that, and having my Kinect saying, "Oh, are you trying to say Xbox on?" So, no. This controller does feel nice. I like this little nice flashy Xbox symbol. This is your Xbox guide button, actually. You have, the big actually win is that this long battery life. Long battery life. It uses AA batteries, which again, it's like AA. I would prefer if it was more like the PlayStation 3 controller and you can just plug it in. And it's kind of weird because they actually have a micro USB cord right there. So I don't know if it's going to be like in the future you can actually plug in this controller to your PC or something like that, or you could plug it into your console and maybe it can charge it. I don't know, but it does have a micro USB port right there, like the PS4 does. I do not like this, and this is a huge. I've gotten used to this, but I do not like this nearly as much. It's this whole top part right here: the triggers, the bumpers, the other triggers, and the other bumpers. I do not like this. The triggers themselves are bigger. But the problem is keep in mind, I played first-person shooters on this, and I will also play driving games. It feels great for driving games, but when I'm playing Call of Duty, I'm immersed in the experience. You know, I'm a very intense player. When I'm playing video games, I'm not like all calm. My hands aren't down to my knees, and I'm not like sitting there like this, like, oh, I'm playing calmly. When I'm immersed in the experience, I'm like this, right? I'm holding the controller firmly. I'm pressing down on the buttons firmly because I'm immersed in the experience. So after a couple games of Call of Duty, my fingers start to hurt. The tips of my fingers start to hurt because the tops of these have a very kind of tough. I don't want to really. They're not. It's not sharp, but it's a different type of feel. Whereas this is like a flat surface that your fingers kind of rest on. This is like. My fingers rest on the edges, on the top right here. I don't know how anyone else uses the controllers, but my fingers rest comfortably on the top of the triggers. So there's a little bit of sharp little pain, pinches, and stuff when I'm intensely playing a video game. The second thing I don't like are these bumpers. They're huge, they're hard to press, they don't really feel that well. This was nice, it was simple, it was small, it was easy to press. This, I feel like I actually have to make an effort to press the left or right bumpers. It's not, it's like, a good example with like grenade throws in Call of Duty or whatever. Keep in mind, I've gotten used to this over time. So, you can get used to anything pretty much if you really want to. But, playing other games, like, I'm really interested to play Dying Light on the Xbox One controller to see how the bumpers really handle up. Because Dying Light is going to be using the right bumper, similar to Mirror's Edge's left bumper, for the jumping mechanics. And so this right bumper here is very big. It doesn't when you press it in, it doesn't really feel like you're really pressing it in. It's kind of stiff. And yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see. Yeah, it's just gonna be really interesting to find out how this bumper does over the years. This whole thing is one piece. The triggers and the bumpers, they're separate pieces, but they're so close together that you can easily slip your finger off the bumper and press the trigger, like without any hassle or whatever. But yeah, it's interesting. I want to see how these I want to see how these bumpers are, because right now if I'm just pressing the controls right now, I actually have to make an effort. To actually move my finger. It feels like I have to make an effort, stretch my finger over to the top of this controller so I can press the right bumpers. anything I move my finger over to the far edge of the button, so it doesn't take that much of a hassle. I just have to bend my finger, whatever. So then you have your standard start button. I think they call these something else now. I think it's called menu and pop up, something stupid. All right, don't even name them right now. But you have your start and select buttons as normal, and that's pretty much it. You have your sync button. Again, this controller works hand in hand with Kinect through an IR connectivity. So the Kinect knows when you place this controller on the ground, when it's not facing the Kinect, it knows. All right, it knows. So when I place this controller down, there are certain games that are going to know that, and they're going to be like, why did he place it down? Is he going to the bathroom? Is he going to make a sandwich? It's going to start. I don't know how they're going to use it, but apparently Kinect can sense when I place this controller down on the ground. And then on the back here, you also have this. I guess this is your new audio port for your headphone jack. Going through all these different menus, more tiles, all these different. It comes with a headset that's actually a good headset. It's actually not a crappy headset. I think I may have it here. Yeah. This headset is much more appealing than the shitty headset or the in-ear earpiece that Sony gave you. This is standard, like you would expect a normal Xbox 360 one to be. It's a little bit more comfortable than the standard 360 one, and this one actually feels kind of less cheap. However, yeah, this one kind of feels less cheap. You have this big mount here on the bottom, allows you to mute and increase the volume, and that plugs in right to the controller right here. So if I had this untangled, of course, I can just play at ease and stuff like that. I think over the course of the years, they're probably going to redo this. I believe they redid the 360 one, because originally the 360 one... There we go. Because originally the 360 one was, I think, had a big end like this, and they kind of took it off and they kind of added it here. So they're probably going to redo this and make some adjustments over time. But again, I don't talk to anyone. Out of all my friends I know in real life, all right, I don't like using real life, but there really isn't another term to understand, because real life implies that the friends I have now are fake, which they're not. They're actually really good friends that I have here on the YouTube space, and I love them dearly. But the friends that I'm actually hang out with, all right, my school friends, if you will, no one has an Xbox One or a PS4. I am the only person I know in a certain mile radius that actually has a next-gen system. Not both, a next-gen system. Of course, I'm the only person I actually know who has both. Me and actually, I think Goat Perverter has both, too. But, yeah. It's kind of... So I don't talk to anyone. My options are limited. Because I adopted a new system so early, and I have to wait for a lot of my friends to either get the games or get the consoles, so I can, once they adopt that, let's say in a year, I'll probably have some friends to play with. Of course, when I talk to my close friends, my best friends and such, whenever they get the system, which I guess is relatively soon, because one of them is getting an Xbox One. You guys know, my best friends, the twins, one of them is getting an Xbox One, one of them is getting a PlayStation 4. So it's like, okay. I'm going to have one person on each and stuff like that. I have some good YouTube friends, of course, that are on here that I can always play with, but nothing has been really set up lately. I've been busy playing other games that I need to play so I can include them in the video game awards. Oh, I think I covered pretty much everything. I don't know how the Blu-ray player is. It's a Blu-ray player, alright? Everyone has a Blu-ray player in their home nowadays. I heard that the PlayStation 4 Blu-ray player actually sucks, like, really badly. So, I don't know, alright? But that's it. My voice is going to go away tomorrow. I just know it. But I want to let you guys know that those are my feelings on the two, alright? And, again, I'm not telling which one is better. I'm not telling which one to go out and get. Look at the lineup. You have Titanfall, you have Quantum Break, you have Halo for Xbox One, Sunset Overdrive, and some other cool games coming up. And on PS4 you have Infamous, The Order, Uncharted, Drive Club. Those are just a few. And obviously more exclusives will be announced at this E3. So it all depends on your preference. Get the system. If you want to go with if my opinion really does matter to you, this is what I have to say to you. Get the system that you're probably going to enjoy more. And I think we all know inside of us which one we're going to enjoy more secretly. Alright? There's a reason we adopted the console last generation that we did over the other one. All right, and there's a reason that most of us think about your friends too. If you're a person who loves multiplayer gaming, that's like your whole life, and you just love the social connectivity of video games, get the system that you actually have friends on. If none of your friends have the system, then there's no reason to get the system. Absolutely. Speaking of now, the consoles are boring pretty much. Unless you don't really have a lot of time to play video games, and a game like Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag can last you 2 months to play, the consoles are boring. There's no content really that's exciting, that's must-have at the moment. This is the best game, pretty much the best next-gen game that I can really think of, because this is an amazing game. This is another great next-gen game. This game you'll play through it once, you'll enjoy it, but that's it. This is Call of Duty. You already know what you think about Call of Duty. Killzone is fun at times, but mostly boring. Battlefield 4 is, again, Battlefield, you know whether you like it or not. And Need for Speed is a racing game that I really don't have an opinion on because I didn't really play that much of it. So, that's really your choice. You have Killer Instinct on here, but if you don't like fighting games, then what do you care? So, yeah, that's it. Those are my feelings on the different areas of the next-gen consoles, alright? I thank you guys for watching. I know this is a long video, but hey, everyone's been asking me, and now I officially gave my opinion. And actually, I didn't notice that the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One cases are exactly identical in height. And actually, to be honest, this case is much more attractive than this. This is a nice case. I like the blue and stuff, but this is a proprietary case. The Xbox One logo is actually engraved on the case, and so is the Microsoft seal on the back. And I like this. I like these smooth cases. The only weird thing is that the discs are on the right side, which is just odd. It's weird. It's like, why? And, this is like a standard. This is the same actually size as the PS3 case. They just got rid of that standard top thing. And, this is standard what you would expect. So, alright, I'm done talking. This video has been going on forever. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate it. I'm going to upload this video. It's going to take me a little bit longer, too. And I'll see you all later. Have a good day. Let me know what you think. And, yeah. Goodbye. And thank you.